So, in most cases, video games have not been known to be very good for a person's health. After all, the stereotype of a Reddit mod who plays games all day is known throughout most circles of the internet. Video games have even been tied to be negative for a person's health, as a person who eats food and plays them all day will grow to be fat. Some people even appear to commit acts such as assault and murder because of thoughts brought on through playing video games. Think about the Columbine High School massacre in 1999. The perpetrators of the event, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, were both avid players of the Doom series, bringing the game severely bad press at the time as a result, believing it was partly to blame for their actions. While the media does highlight some good examples of how games could possibly contribute to poor physical and mental health, they rarely ever talk about the good a simple video game can do for one's health. More often than not, they act a lot more old-fashioned in the way they look at this perspective for video games. Sure, before even the 2010s, there were rare examples of video games even being good for physical health. Maybe Dance Dance Revolution, but other than that, most games required a person to just sit down for a long period of time with a controller in their hands. Does not sound very healthy at all, right? However, in this day and age, the market and availability for physically healthy games has never been bigger. With the introduction of VR, having video games that are good for you physically is easier than ever before. Games such as Beat Saber and Batman Arkham Shadow force players to move their bodies and immerse themselves in the game to an extraordinary degree by physically being in the environment of the character they play as and seeing what they would see. This isn't the only example though. You don't need a headset strapped onto a person's head in order to have an immersive, physically challenging game. Just think about the Just Dance series, which with the use of Wii remotes and Nintendo Switch controllers has made people move their bodies to music for over a decade and a half. To talk about other examples of physical games by Nintendo, Wii Fit, which came out all the way back in 2007. Even if it was more of a trainer than a game, it still made a person actively play while actively moving their body. Man, they must have some fitness nuts working at Nintendo. Even Ring Fit Adventure, another Nintendo game which with the Ring-Con controller made the player do things such as fight bosses or explore the world by actually running or actually throwing punches in order to do damage. When it comes to physical health of an individual, video games have little to do with the question. They are not necessary for survival and are purely there for us to experience them. Whether physically or not, if a person decides to play them to a ridiculous degree or have it impact their health in some way, then that is simply on them. The video game did not make them do that. It is not the game's fault in the slightest. However, I'd say video games do much more for people mentally, and in order to prove this, I want to take a trip back to when I was younger. Around mid-2018, I had just moved to the Netherlands with my parents, and without a phone, I had no way to contact my friends. I felt very alone, and for the first time in my life, I was experiencing a bit of depression. Until I realized something. A game that I had an enormous amount of excitement for was just about to be released. Marvel's Spider-Man. When Spider-Man released on September 7th, 2018, it was an understatement to say I was excited for it. My mom even bought me a Spider-Man themed PlayStation 4 just so I could play the game. And when I did, it was amazing to say the least. It gave me time to simply forget about everything going on in the real world and act like I was just swinging around New York City. Seriously, I'd still hop on Spider-Man 2 every once in a while just to swing around the city. It's pretty relaxing. Along with the obviously fun traversal, the story to me was just perfect in my 12-year-old mind. Having the dread of knowing Otto Octavius as a friend in the beginning and establishing that relationship even after knowing he'll become the villain he's always been is heartbreaking for anyone who's played the game. But most importantly, this game gave me something to do, something to think about, to distract me from the hard times I was having adjusting to a new life in Europe. It let me have an interest I could sink my teeth into whenever I felt sad or alone at school. This game was an integral part of my life at the time, as sad as that is to say, and I treated it as such. beating it over 7 times and doing everything possible in the game multiple times over. And while I still do love the game, time has obviously made me see its flaws and shortcomings after it's been out for nearly 8 years now. But this game is not the only one that helped me mentally, and this next point I can confidently say applies to more than just me. Online gaming. I mean, games like Fortnite, Valorant, Call of Duty, Marvel Rivals, Guilty Gear, Peak, Repo, all these games, no matter how much some people may hate them, they are games that can bring longtime friends and new ones together to talk when without it they wouldn't have had the chance. Online games let people keep in touch and have someone to talk to when they may usually have no one. It lets people hop on with their friends and appreciate talking to them even more than playing the game itself. So to end this all off, I'll leave you with this. Traditional media only really talks about the negatives when it comes to individual health in video games. They never talk about the weight people lose playing Beat Saber, or the nights possible suicide victims were saved watching Dr. Lupo play Fortnite.
Ending it all, so I figured I'd give my favorite streamer my last 10. Hope it all goes well in the future. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please find somebody. Reach out to somebody right now.
So, when you hear about games making life worse for the individual, remember when video games enabled people to be there for you.
Why?
What the fuck are you doing, bro?
I'm trying so hard. Dude, are we serious? Oh, oh my.
What the fuck on, bro?
Come on!